A woman named Lisa Allen sat in a research lab while scientists studied her brain. 4 years earlier, she had been a wreck. She smoked, she was deep in debt, she had been fired more than once, and her marriage had just ended when her husband left her for someone else. She weighed the most she ever had, and she had smoked since she was 16. Then on a trip to Cairo after the divorce, sitting in a hotel, she decided she wanted one thing: to trek across the desert. To do that, she would have to quit smoking first so her body could train for it. So she quit. One habit. And something strange happened. Changing that one habit started changing all the others. She replaced smoking with running. Running changed how she ate. How she ate changed how she slept and worked and saved. Within a few years, the debt was gone. She had a degree, a new job, and a house. The scientists could see it on the scans. Her old habits were still there, but new patterns had been laid down on top of them, overriding them. She changed one keystone habit, and it pulled her whole life along behind it. This is a book about how that works and how a habit can be taken apart and rebuilt. To rebuild a habit, you first have to know where it lives. And the answer came from a man who had lost almost everything else. Eugene Pauly caught a virus that destroyed a piece of his brain the size of a walnut, and with it, his ability to form new memories. He could not tell you the year, or the name of the doctor he saw every week, or where the kitchen was in the house he had lived in for years. And yet every morning he got up and walked to that kitchen and made himself breakfast. Ask him to draw a map of his house and he could not. Ask him to walk to the bathroom and he went straight there. His memory was gone, his habits were not. Because habits do not live where memories live. They live deeper in an old knot of tissue near the center of the brain. Scientists found it by watching rats learn a maze. On the first run, a rat's brain worked hard the whole way through, but run it again and again, and the brain went quiet. It had bundled the whole maze into one automatic routine and switched most of itself off. That bundling is the point. A habit is your brain finding a way to stop working so hard. Every habit that gets bundled has the same 3 parts: a cue, a routine, and a reward. The cue tells the brain to go on autopilot and which routine to run. The routine is the behavior. The reward tells the brain the loop is worth keeping. That much sounds simple. What this book adds is the thing that actually powers the loop: a craving. Consider the man who sold America on brushing its teeth. In 1900, most Americans had rotten teeth, and almost nobody brushed. A salesman named Claude Hopkins was handed a new toothpaste called Pepsodent and told to fix that. Hopkins found a cue anyone could feel with their tongue, the film on unbrushed teeth, and he promised a reward, a beautiful smile. But that is not why it worked. He had put something in the paste, a little mint and citric acid, that made the mouth tingle. Nobody needed the tingle, but soon if they skipped brushing, they missed it. They craved it. That craving turned a nice idea into a habit half the country could not skip. Decades later, a giant company learned the same lesson the hard way with a spray called Febreze. It destroyed bad smells and it should have sold itself. It did not. It sat on the shelf and nearly died. There was no craving. People living with a smell stopped noticing it, so nothing ever cued them to spray. So they added a perfume and moved it to the end of cleaning, the finishing touch. A fresh, clean scent you would start to want. A reward you could crave. Same product. Once it had a craving, it became a habit worth $1 billion a year. So how do you change a habit you already have? The book is blunt. You cannot simply erase one. The cue and the craving are still in there, waiting. But there is a rule that works, and it is the heart of the whole book. Keep the old cue, keep the old reward, and change only the routine in the middle. Think about what a bad habit actually gives you. The afternoon walk to the vending machine is not really about the cookie. Watch it closely, and the reward you are chasing might be the break or the couple of minutes of talking to somebody on the way. If it is the company you want, keep the cue, 3 o'clock, and keep the reward, a little human contact, but swap the cookie for walking to a friend's desk to talk. Same cue, same reward, new routine. The craving is fed and the habit is rebuilt. This is the move behind almost every program that changes people. Alcoholics Anonymous never tries to erase the urge to drink. It keeps the cue and the reward a drinker is chasing, the relief, the company, and hands them a new routine to get there. A meeting, a sponsor, a room full of people who understand. And when it holds, one more thing is usually present: belief. The belief that change is actually possible, which is easiest to find in a group. Now, the biggest idea in the book: some habits matter far more than others. Change one of them, and it sets off a chain reaction that changes the rest. The book calls them Keystone habits. In 1987, a new chief executive stood in front of Wall Street investors at Alcoa, one of the largest aluminum makers in America. They waited for him to talk about profits and margins. He talked about worker safety. He said he wanted Alcoa to become the safest company in the country, and he barely mentioned money at all. In the room, investors panicked. One phoned his clients and told them to sell. He was sure the man was out of his depth. He could not have been more wrong. To make Alcoa safe, every injury had to be reported to the top within a day, with a plan to fix its cause. That one rule forced the whole company to talk to itself, to hunt down problems, to improve. Chasing safety quietly rebuilt how the entire company worked, and the profits followed. Under him, Alcoa's annual income grew fivefold. Safety was the keystone. He pushed on one habit and 100 others moved. A person has them too. For Michael Phelps, the most decorated swimmer in history, the keystone was a routine his coach built when he was a boy. Every night and every morning, Phelps ran a videotape in his head of the perfect race. Every stroke, down to the water beating off his face. At one Olympic final, his goggles filled with water, and he swam half the race blind. It did not matter. He had already swum that exact race 1,000 times in his mind. He won and set a world record. One habit, practiced until it carried all the others. And the most important keystone habit of all may be one nobody teaches you to call a habit: willpower. Researchers used to think willpower was a fixed trait, something you either had or you did not. Then they found something better. Willpower works like a muscle. It tires when you push it hard, and it grows stronger when you train it. A coffee company built a business on that fact. Starbucks was hiring thousands of young workers who had never held a demanding job and standing them in front of angry customers. So it stopped trying to hire willpower and started teaching it. Every hard moment, a rude customer, a rush, a mistake, got a routine to run instead of a raw reaction. They even gave the routine a name. Listen, acknowledge, take action, think, and explain. Practiced enough, staying calm under fire stopped being a feeling you had to summon and became a habit that ran on its own. Habits do not stop at one person. They scale. And when they do, they can move a nation. On a December evening in 1955, a seamstress named Rosa Parks was arrested for refusing to give up her bus seat in Montgomery, Alabama. She was not the first arrested for it, but her arrest caught fire, and it caught for a reason this book explains through habits. Rosa Parks was known and respected across every group in her town. She had the strong ties of close friends and the weak ties of 100 acquaintances. When she was arrested, her friends reacted first out of loyalty. Then the acquaintances moved too, out of the quiet pressure of a whole community that knew her. A one-day bus boycott grew into a movement that lasted over a year because it stopped depending on any single leader and became a habit the community ran on its own. That is how a movement holds. It starts in friendship, spreads through the crowd, and survives by becoming a habit no one person has to carry. So the book comes back to where it began, with the idea that a habit, once you can see it, is yours. You did not choose most of your habits. They were laid down while your brain was trying to save effort, and they run whether you look at them or not. But a habit is not a fate, it is a loop, a cue, a routine, a reward held together by a craving. Find the cue. Learn the reward you are really chasing, then keep both and change the routine in between. That is the whole method, and it is enough to rebuild a single afternoon, or a company, or a life like Lisa Allen's. And if you have spent years getting good at something, you already know this in your hands. The skill went automatic because you practiced it. A habit is the same machine, pointed on purpose. If this was useful to you, subscribe and take a second to like the video so it reaches somebody else who needs it. And leave a comment with the one habit you're going to reshape this week. Everything else is at rhinoworks.ai.